I am dedicated to finding out how hard things are to do, and today we're going to go and try archery.
Archery is one of the oldest sports in the world, with evidence of its use dating back to at least 25,000 years ago. It's also been an Olympic sport since 1900, and after watching this year's archery in Paris, my curiosity of how hard the game is really ramped up. Although I won't be taking on 70 metres like the pros, I'm hopeful that I will gain enough knowledge today to give you guys an honest review of whether you should give it a go. I headed to meet this gentleman, Archery GB Ambassador Neil Hickman. Neil is Club Secretary at Wigan and Orrell Archers. But before we start firing arrows, it's always good to get an understanding of the equipment you'll be using.
Our basic equipment, we've got a recurve bow, which is currently in a bare bow configuration, which means there's no sights. You're all doing it by eye basically. Obviously outdoors we shoot 6 arrows at a time, so we've got 6 arrows.
Yep.
That's basically it for the bow.
Yep.
Bow, string, arrows.
So you've given me the hardest one to use then, haven't you?
Yes, basically. It is. So, no, we might have a go in a little while. This is a recurve sight, which basically allows us to adjust where we're aiming. That's the freestyle setup. So what you'd normally see in the Olympics.
Okay.
So when they've got all the long rods and all the extra.
And it looks very expensive.
It looks very expensive, and usually is very expensive as well. For an Olympic style setup, you're probably looking £2,000 to £3,000. Could be quite pricey. This basic setup though, you could probably get for about 200 to 300.
Oh, that's decent.
So it's entry point for archery. If you're doing bare bow, it's quite low. It's a really good sport to be getting into. So there's not really that much in terms of
expense.
Yep. Other than that, it's get a bow, shoot some arrows.
Sounds great to me, that does.
Let's do it then.
Right, and how do we set up in terms of what's this?
So this is our quiver. Most people associate quivers with the longbow style quiver, which is on your back.
The Lord of the Rings style.
Lord of the Rings style, yeah, exactly. This is a hip quiver, which we use for our beginners because literally it can go either left-handed configuration or right-handed configuration. Great. And it just sits on your hip with the belt on, and away you go.
Nice and easy.
So that goes on our hip, and then our arrows just sit in the arrow tube inside it, and now you start to look like an archer.
I doubt it. Should we get set up, pal?
Yep.
Perfect.
So this is your arm guard, otherwise known as a bracer.
What's that for?
So most people think it's to stop you from hitting your arm. It's not. It's actually to give you, kind of gives you an extra layer of protection for stopping hitting your arm with the string.
Right.
But its main purpose is to give the string, if it does catch your arm, something to travel down.
Glide down, so it doesn't get caught on clothing.
Exactly. So its function is obviously twofold: protect your arm. Yeah. If you hit your arm, it does still hurt, but it kind of takes away the sting a little bit. I've still got scars on my arm from where I've hit my arm.
You're not filling me much hope.
But I'll teach you to not hit your arm. Okay. Basically.
Yeah. Perfect.
So you see it fold, so that bit goes in the crease of your elbow. Okay. The smaller bit goes at the top, and then that bit goes on your wrist.
Perfect.
So right there. So this is a bit awkward to get it started for you.
Yeah, we didn't actually archer today because I couldn't get my arm piece on.
Let's shoot. That's another thing as well.
Sorry, I can't even get on.
We always have a field captain.
Right.
Obviously to keep an eye out, because this is obviously an open field. Yeah. We need to make sure that nobody's coming running behind the targets. Safety is the main thing, obviously. Okay, so fundamentals is your position. Yep. So your form with your body is your feet. Start from your feet and work your way up. So feet should be parallel, shoulder width apart, facing the direction of the right-handed that you are.
Okay.
So obviously we're shooting right-handed, so we're going to be facing the right.
Yep.
And we hold the bow in our left hand,
Mm-hmm.
which most people get confused by. But it's actually the string that does the work, so you need your stronger arm on your draw arm.
Right, okay.
Okay?
Yep.
So from there, you're going to put your hand in the grip. I know it's called the grip, but it doesn't mean that you grip it. So you put the webbing of your thumb into the handle and then roll your hand down. So basically this part is connecting with this part of your thumb pad, and you're pushing through that.
Right, okay.
Okay? Can I pinch an arrow
You
off?
can indeed.
Okay, so
So before we start, this is how you actually do it, guys.
yes. So as you can see, we've got an odd colour fletching there, and then 2 green ones, so purple and green.
Yeah.
The odd colour fletching you want facing towards you,
Okay.
and then it should just go in between the 2 brass knocks, and you just pull it until you hear a click.
Okay.
Do that again so you can hear the click.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
We heard it.
So 3 fingers underneath the arrow. You don't want to be touching the arrow itself, because you can knock it off the arrow rest.
Right.
Make sure it's on the plastic arrow rest there if you want to get a shot of that. Okay, so it's not on the shelf here, it's on the arrow rest.
Yep.
3 fingers underneath. And what you want to do is draw it back till the finger touches the corner of your mouth.
Okay.
Look down the arrow, use the tip of the arrow to aim.
Perfect.
That's how we do it with bare bow. Now if you get onto the sight later, then that's a slightly different method.
Yep.
But for now, is you want to make sure your fingernails can't be seen from the other side, so it's a nice deep hook on the first line of your finger joint. Go from there. Look at the arrow, make sure your shoulders are down. Bring the bow up. Draw it back to the corner of your mouth.
And that is how you fire an arrow. You've nailed that, haven't you? Is
Eh,
that good, or can you do better?
I can do better.
Go on then, show us. No pressure.
This is 10 yards, by the way.
It's not bad.
Now
I can do that
would
by the end
count
of
as
the
a 10,
That will, because it's on the line.
because it's on the line. So you
I
get
like
we're generous in archery, we give you the highest score.
So standing here like that.
Yep.
And then you said the
So the purple
that
one
fletching.
faces towards you.
fletching,
Fletching or vein. These are veins technically because fletchings are feathers.
and then that's clicked in. And then is it below?
Yep, 3 fingers.
Just
Wrap
on the
your fingers
on the
around.
end?
That's it.
On the end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what's my sight? Is this here?
No, the end of the arrow.
Okay.
So you literally draw it back to the corner of your mouth, keeping your elbow up. That's it. Straight in the middle. My job here is done.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Beginner's luck, I reckon.
Beginner's luck.
Yeah, I promise you I've never done it. I've done it once before at centre backs. Maybe the bow's slightly better than centre backs, do you want?
Probably. Usually I've shoot through balls at places like that.
See, it was beginner's luck. So, do I need to account for wind?
Wind does play a part, obviously not so much at this distance, but the type of arrows that you've got, yes, it can have quite a,
So it'll move a little
move
bit.
it a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously we're on quite a still day at the minute, so we've not got much, but some of the higher end arrows that are made out of composite, so they're usually composite, carbon and aluminium.
Okay.
So they're very light and they're very thin. So yes, they do cut through the wind, but they do also because they're light. So we are getting a bit of wind now.
Yeah.
Like I said, at this distance, it's going to go where it's going to go. If you've been shooting at 70 metres, which is what the Olympics do, then
Miles. When you watch it on the Olympics, it's ridiculous how far that is.
and this is the exact same size space that they use at 70 metres as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. So when they're hitting like goals every time, they're just unbelievable.
It's basically the size of a Coke can that they're hitting at 70 metres. And to give you an idea of the accuracy that they need, if they are off by a millimetre up here, it's 18 centimetres on the target at 70 metres.
How do they do that?
I have no idea. I'm still waiting to find out.
Oh, bit low. Do you close any of your eyes, or do you keep your eyes open? I've just closed my eye then. Don't know why, and I don't know why I'm
It's a
open.
natural thing. It usually comes from shooting, rifle shooting.
Well, I haven't done any of that either.
Maybe that's your next one.
What are you saying about that grouping anyway? I'd say that's not bad.
That's not bad for your first end.
Yeah.
There's always one wayward arrow, which that's that one.
Yeah.
But considering your first arrow was in the 10 ring,
It was a fluke. There's no more hit that 10 ring. Yeah. I bet you're thinking this guy's definitely done it before, haven't you?
so when you're collecting arrows,
Yep.
you put your hand on the boss to support the boss, come down as close to the target as you can,
Yep.
look behind you, and then just pull out.
Okay.
You put it in that hand, you can then move to the next one.
Perfect.
Just keep collecting.
Cool.
Okay?
Yep. Right, let's try and do better than last time.
Yeah, so
better the
what
score.
you're looking for now is consistency.
Okay.
So really kind of when you're pulling, don't try not to bend your arm as you're pulling.
Okay.
On this arm, you want to kind of bring it so you draw in with your elbow, not your hand. It's a weird concept to think
so you
of.
that's just straight,
That's
and you're
just holding it, and you're just coming straight back, and that should be
to the same
literally
position.
touching the corner of your mouth.
This side.
Yeah. So your top finger should be touching the corner of your mouth.
Okay.
Okay, and then see where it ends up there, and then you may just have to adjust where you're aiming. Okay, do another one. If you can hit the same spot now by doing the same thing, then you know your anchor points.
Yeah.
That's what it's called, it's your anchor. In the 10 again.
Somehow.
Okay, grouping's getting good now.
Bit of wind though now.
They're probably not enough to affect it.
No. In the same hole.
Pretty much. Now you get it.
Yeah, that it's just what you've just said there. It's just coming back to the same point. I think before I was sort of like all over the place, whereas that
He's done this before.
I'm going to say is that all right? Is that quite good?
That one is another 10. So there's only that one,
This one.
which is in the 8. The rest of them are all in the 10.
That's all right. I'm for my second ever go at archery. It's all right. I'm enjoying it so far. So far, I'm enjoying it. But I reckon the further you get out, distance-wise, that's going to get impossible, isn't it?
Yeah. I'll
We'll
let you have a go at a different distance in a bit.
Right, let's get them out.
The only other thing I could suggest now at this point is, if we're making sure that we're not hitting your arm, is rather than holding the bow like that,
Yep.
we hold it so your knuckles are going down to 45 degrees.
Oh, so yeah, okay. So it's not like
Like
that. It's more like that.
Yeah, so if you're holding it like that, you're basically gripping the bow.
Yeah.
At this distance, it's not going to really make much difference because the arrow's not really having time to do anything. It's just
Okay.
coming out and hitting where you're aiming.
Yeah.
But at longer distances, you'll find that you're going to cause your arrows to go left and right with that. So if you've got it there and you're just relaxed and you're not gripping the bow, then it's just doing what it needs to do then.
Okay.
At that point. If you think of the Olympics, if you ever watch the Olympics, you notice obviously they've got the big long rods on the front.
Yep.
And when they shoot, the bow ends up going swinging like that.
Swings, yeah.
Okay. With bare bow, it basically should do the same thing, except for it tips back that way,
Hits you in the head.
and hits you in the head. So if you see some movement from the bow, then you know that you've done the right thing.
Okay.
But I'll show you a bit more equipment in a minute, which can help us try and get to that point.
Okay.
But crack on shoot.
Let's go in a few more. That didn't swing though, that. Do they have hold of it too hard?
Yes.
Okay.
But we don't worry about that yet.
Okay. No, I love delving into the actual finer details of things. So you just holding it with more of like the 2 fingers to it?
Really, you shouldn't be holding it with any fingers, which is
Just-
where this comes into it. But for the most part, if you just hold it so it's just lightly touching the back of it, so it doesn't jump out your hand. So yeah, that's a lot straighter into the middle there as well, because you're not.
You're a master, you are. I can tell.
There's definitely coaches out there that are a lot better than I am.
That didn't move a bit, that did it? At all.
That can happen sometimes.
What happened then?
It's quite a low poundage bore, so in these targets they've got kind of like reinforcement nylon.
Oh right. That's just hit
They're
one.
supposed to be waterproof. You must have hit the exact spot where one of them crossed over.
I was going to say that was a really good shot. That. Somebody's schooling me.
It dented it.
Yeah. Oh, didn't clip it in.
Yeah. And that's what happens when you don't clip your knots on the string properly.
There we go. We're in. Right. Don't make that mistake ever again. Right. So lightly holding it.
Same hole.
Yeah. I've bladdered this right side of the 10. Feels better, doesn't it? With like just only holding it very lightly.
Yeah.
Like this, they look like they're going straighter.
Mhm.
You might say otherwise.
No, that's exactly what it is.
Oh.
So this is our finger sling. So
Yep.
the purpose of this is to catch the bow. So basically you don't want to disturb the energy of the bow. You want
So you don't want to be gripping hold of it too hard.
exactly. If best case scenario, you shouldn't be gripping it at all.
Okay.
Your fingers should just be at the side of the bow.
Yep.
So the bow's sat there,
Mhm.
and say that's my fingers are the edge of the bow.
Do you want to show us with the bow so
Yeah.
the audience can see?
So how you were holding it before, you had your fingers around.
Proper gripping it, yeah.
Yeah.
Hard as I could.
Yeah. So I could tell because you can see the colour of your
going white.
knuckles.
Yeah.
So when you're actually holding a bow, the only thing that should be touching is this part of your palm.
Yep.
Okay, the thumb should go up and point towards the gold, but the rest of it is just literally,
Oh, okay.
as you can see, there's
Yeah,
no
just
contact
really,
there.
really loose. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I put it on, and I'll show you the difference. Okay. I'll teach you how to put it on actually. So kind of like a cat's cradle.
Yep.
Put your fingers in, roll them over, pinch your finger and thumb together, and then take it from your thumb and put them both together.
Onto your index finger.
Onto your index finger.
Yep.
Slide it up and tighten it up a bit.
Got you.
Then you pick your bow up, and then you do the same but on the opposite hand. So you fold it over, and then you just basically slip it onto your thumb. Tighten it up a bit.
Do you want to
Yeah.
show us?
So, hang on, where's my foot marker gone?
It's here.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll borrow one of your arrows. So I'll show you the difference between gripping it. That feels a little broken.
Is that my fault?
No, I think it was broken before. I need to tell our equipment officer. Okay.
So this is holding it as hard as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it wasn't me before.
It wasn't. You may have caught it. You know when you heard it deflect before?
Right.
It happens all the time. We
Yeah,
have
just
replacement knocks for everything, so
Sorry.
no, it's fine. It
Sorry
happens a
for
lot.
doing a good one.
This happens all the time when you're an archer. Even when you've got 500-pound arrows, you're bound to hit your nock at some point and break it. Okay, so gripping it tightly. See how far off to the right it went?
Yep. And this is how you should do it. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
No pressure.
It's not a very high poundage bore, so I don't expect it to work miracles, but
Yeah, you can see the difference there, can't you?
Okay, and notice how I stayed out there after the arrow had already left.
Yeah, you've not brought it back.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you make sure the shot's completely finished before you carry on.
Okay. Right, should we attempt to do this?
Yes.
Right. This could take some time.
You get used to it.
So pick up the bow. So
Okay.
we'll pick up the bow like this.
I literally take that bit, 2 fingers underneath, roll, pinch, and then put it onto your thumb.
Like that.
Yeah.
And then
Just put your thumb through the loops, and then just pull on that bit to tighten it up.
oh yeah,
Put it on a little bit more, and then there you go. Okay, so with your hand now, if I come this side, you want to have it so let go of the thingy. Right, push down into it that way,
Yeah.
and just relax your fingers. Don't open them, just relax them. That's it.
Yeah.
That's how you should be holding them.
Okay.
You probably find you may have to change where you're aiming now though,
Right.
because it might go more left.
Right, well let's figure this one out.
It was slightly more left. A
Yeah.
little bit lower, so you might want to go a smidge higher as
Yeah.
well. That's what I mean, when you're holding it, you're stopping the arrow from doing what it wants to do,
Yeah.
and you're guiding it a little bit more. But you'll also notice some archers do that on purpose. Like if there's a big gust of wind, if it's coming in from that way, they'll go like that. You'll see it all the time on the Olympics where they move their arrow, the bow arm. Hey?
They are going left. It's as if he's done this before, isn't it? Really. See, I've overcompensated for that one. But my hand is loose on the
It is, yeah. It's definitely
what's this called, a bow?
bow. Yeah, so you can see you're doing it right because the bow's tipping. If you were, it'd be stationary as
Yeah.
you finish your shot. So this is the thing as well. When you're shooting, you can get really good groups, and then you'll get a coach come over and say, right, we'll work on this bit now, and then
It goes all over the shot.
goes all over the shot.
Like this.
Like this. But no, then you kind of work towards getting it back
to
together,
group,
and then
yeah.
you work on the next
Yeah, of
thing.
course.
That's kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the progression.
Same in golf.
Yeah,
A golf coach tinkers with your swing, and then you go progressively worse,
yeah.
and then you get better. Sometimes.
Sometimes. Or you give up. There you go. Now you've got it.
That was the one.
That was the one. When you're shooting, you'll probably notice the difference. In fact, you probably didn't notice it. Most people don't. But as you're
I don't have a clue about much we've done today. I'm just doing it as you're telling me to do it.
as you're anchoring there,
Yeah.
you'll notice when I shoot, my hand ends up back here.
Okay.
Mainly because, obviously, as I was explaining to you before, when you're drawing, you draw with your elbow.
Yeah.
I'm drawing with my elbow and squeezing my back muscles together as well.
Okay.
So it makes your shoulder come round more.
Of course. And then when you let go,
And
your
then
hand
when you let
naturally.
go, you get that kind of explosive kind of reaction,
Of course.
from your hand.
Yeah,
So
it makes complete sense.
exactly. So, as I said before, archery is all about repetition and making sure that you're doing everything exactly the same. The good thing about archery as well, even though we guide you to the better way of doing things, there's not just one way of doing things.
Of course.
So when you find your way, so long as you can repeat that every single time, you're an archer.
Perfect.
As simple as that.
Neil then decided to throw me in at the deep end by setting up a game against one of the regulars, Paul. While I might not know much about archery, I can definitely tell that his gear looks seriously high-end.
And we're live.
No pressure, but if you lose against me, you need to send that back.
Yeah. Okay, so rules for this.
Okay.
It's 3 arrows.
Yep.
Alternating ends. So he shoots one, you shoot one, he shoots one, you shoot one.
Okay.
Okay.
Got you.
And we'll score it if it's the joint score it with the closest to the middle that wins.
I don't think there's going to be an issue in that, you know.
I don't think there's going to be an issue either. So.
This is how you do it properly. Right. We've not even shook hands, by the way. Good luck. Is that what you do? I don't even know what you're doing, Archery.
Usually afterwards.
Right, sorry. It was a bit premature. Too low. No good.
Aim higher next time.
Yeah. It just sounds so nice coming off that bow. It's just
You notice a difference there though. in
different
the sound. Of it.
Yeah, different.
Notice how it clicked first before he shot.
All right. What's that?
It's a draw length indicator.
Ah, right.
Otherwise known as a clicker.
Oh, so that's when he gets to the right draw length.
Then he knows he's
Cheating, I like it. I ain't got none of this stuff on my bow here. Ball. I actually nearly dropped the bow. Look at where that's ended. Do you reckon I was a bit loose on that?
might have been a bit loose.
Oh, look at that.
Well, there's your closest to the middle.
Showing off in either. Dear Lord. That is the middle, isn't it?
Yeah. So just use that as an aiming point now. And just go in at the side of him.
I'm going to be honest with you, Neil, I'm just aiming for the board. Target. I mean, at least I'm hitting the target.
Nicely done.
So that's how you should do it.
Yep.
This isn't, I mean, we'll not talk about that.
So
Phenomenal.
as I said before, Paul would know if this was a competition, he'd come up and score his arrows, so it'd be X8 6.
Yep.
So that's 7. Sorry. So it'd be X7 6. If it was an Imperial, which we should be really scoring at this one, it'd be 975.
Right.
So we have 2 different scoring systems. One's at metric distances, and the other's at imperial distances. Because we like to, confuse things.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
But what you're basically saying in layman's terms is that I've just had an absolute ass whooping.
Yes.
Okay, understood.
So notice how there's the finer circle in the middle where he's got this arrow.
Yeah.
That's classed as the X ring.
Okay.
It still counts as a 10.
Yep.
But it's used for any tiebreakers.
Right.
So in competition, if you both get a 10, if you've got an X, one person's got an X,
yeah, they win.
They win.
Like it. Cool.
Okay, so bow parts for a recurve. We've gone over the bare bow. You'll notice a lot that's different. Obviously, it's still a recurve bow, like the bare bow is, except for on this one you've got a sight, which is adjustable, so we can get in there really close and really get them fine groups on there. Then you've got the clicker, which we've just described, which there's all sorts of different types of clicker. You can have some that are right here on your sight. You have these ones that are there that's got like a little click plate that you can hear it click against. And then you've got the stabilizer setup. So you've got your long rod with weights on the end of it, and then you've got your side rods that add some stabilisation to the side.
Looks space age.
It does look space age. It offers a couple of things. Obviously, it adds weight to the bow, so it offers stabilisation that way.
Yep.
It's got vibration dampening properties in it as well, so the energy from the shot will go through the long rod and out the end, basically, which you can see here. If we come down here, there's got like a rubber on the end that allows it to move any direction, so the vibration comes into this bit and then the wake just kind of like moves around and stops your bow from going here, there and everywhere. With bare bow you don't really have that. You've got kind of all the vibrations going up your arm, kind of deal. There has been quite a big boom in bare bow at the minute. A a lot of people are tending to opt to go for bare bow because it's obviously a more natural form of archery anyway. So
That's why I went for it today.
I think we've got Legolas to thank for that for our day and age, and maybe Meredith from Brave, possibly Hawkeye because he doesn't use any of this. But the Olympics does tend to spur a lot of people coming into archery.
Yeah.
Now's a good time to do it. Arrows. Oh, that was the other thing we missed out as well. This here, which you can see from both sides, which is a little white thing just next to the arrow rest.
Yep.
And then on this side is the pressure button. So basically what that's doing, as I was talking about the arrow flexing before, as it's coming out of the bow, that basically kind of stabilises. So you put it just at the right tension so it just about touches as it's coming off, stops it from over flexing and starts the flex of the arrow as it's coming out of the bow. Arrows, we've got, as I was saying before, some Ali carbon. So inside this is a carbon sheath on the outside, and then running through the whole arrow is a thin layer of aluminium. So they make them very light. Obviously they're a lot thinner than what you were shooting with. You can get one of them for comparison. So you can see the thickness difference there.
Just turn it around to me a little bit like that. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can quite clearly see.
So it's thinner. I mean, these aren't bad arrows themselves, but obviously you've got the aluminium on the outer wall rather than what they've got it on the inside.
Yep.
And these are spined a lot better than these are. The straightness of these are a lot. There's a lot less tolerance on them compared to what these would be. And these don't tend to bend as much.
Right.
They are a lot more expensive though.
Yep.
So
they look more expensive. They look cooler, if I'm being honest with you.
And the difference here is as well, if you look at the nocks, obviously they're a lot smaller, but they're sat on pins. So if he was to hit these, they'd just split and not damage the arrow. Whereas if you hit that,
so you could just change them.
You can just change them.
Ah, okay.
Whereas these are glued onto a metal piece inside of it. If you hit that, you're splitting the arrow basically.
And it's a full new arrow.
Full new Robin Hood. So, as you can see as well, the length of them is a lot different. These are obviously set up for our beginners, but these are set up perfectly for Paul's draw length.
Yep.
And that's the one thing that you do once you go to buy your gear.
Ah, so they're all tailor-made to you?
You'd all measured, tailored up, and you're basically getting the kit that you need for your shooting. Whereas obviously if you come to do like a have a go or a beginner's course, it's not really that tailor-made for you. So as you were seeing before, the spread of your arrows is quite erratic.
Yeah.
My advice for anybody that's going out buying kit for archery, once you've done your course and you go into the shop, put your money into your riser, which is this part of the bow, the metal part, with the handle on.
Yep.
Put as much money into your budget into that. Get cheap limbs and just cheap arrows. That's enough for you to get started, and your riser should grow with you as you're going up in bow poundage, getting new limbs. That's basically the best advice I can give for anybody going getting gear.
It's the best advice ever.
Yes.
Who's it again?
Yeah, just have one more.
After you.
Do you want me to go first and show you how it's not done?
You lost, so you go first.
Is that how it is? Losers first.
Yeah.
I
Very
love it.
generous like that.
Yeah, I already tell what type of people you are already, these archers. Nasty. It's not true.
No, we tend to, in a head-to-head competition, you'll have the person who's behind go first to put pressure on the person who's ahead.
Oh, okay, I like it. I get you. Right, well this is to put pressure on him then.
Yeah. So straight in the middle. Let's go.
No pressure. We're in the blue.
We're in the blue again.
We need to go a bit higher.
As we watch these final arrows, I thought I'd wrap things up with my honest review of the experience. I can genuinely say that it's definitely worth trying. The people I met were incredibly welcoming, and any doubts I had of being there vanished instantly. Neil did a great job of explaining the basics of archery, clear and thorough, and I could actually feel myself improving rather quickly. We started with the target at 10 metres and honestly, it felt pretty easy. But when we moved it back to 20 metres, I began to struggle a bit with my aim. I think it would take a bit more practice to adjust to the different angles and trajectories needed at longer distances.
Fantastic arrow. Is that what you say? Is that good terminology? It
I
is.
can't even imagine how Olympic archers shoot accurately at 70 metres. That feels almost impossible at this stage.
Ooh. Oh, he's stepping up his game now.
To sum up, if you've ever thought about giving archery a try, please go for it. Like Neil said, you'll probably get hooked. In terms of how hard was archery to do, I'd probably give this a 2.5 out of 5, mainly because I found the shorter distances manageable.
Is this where we shake hands and say congratulations?
Yeah.
Good game. Good game. Great game, in fact.
Is that a line cutter, Judge?
Is it? Are you giving me that 10?
Yeah, you get
Yes, get in there.
But yeah, I think he won that one as well. Only by a couple of points that time though.
No, it was getting better, getting closer, but no cigar.
But if we move the target back to 70 metres, I reckon it would be a solid 5 out of 5 for difficulty. But until next time, guys, see ya!